He wore a crown shaped like a bull's head, and people called him the man with two horns, a conqueror, a prophet, a seeker of immortality. Some say he built a wall so powerful that even the end of time will tremble before it crumbles. His name was Dhul Qarnayn, a mysterious figure whose legacy stretches across time, religions, and civilizations. He ruled not with tyranny, but with justice, not with fear, but with wisdom. His empire reached the edges of the known world. He faced wild tribes, met strange creatures, and even searched for the legendary spring of life. And when a people begged for protection against two monstrous tribes, Yajuj and Majuj, he built a wall that would hold them back until the final hour. This is more than history. This is legend, faith, and mystery woven together. A journey across continents and into the unseen, with Dhul Qarnayn, the possessor of two epochs. Who was he? A king, a prophet, Alexander the Great, or someone even greater? Let's begin the journey and uncover the incredible story of Dhul Qarnayn. Make sure to watch till the end, because what he discovered might just change how you see history, power, and immortality. Before we begin this incredible journey through time, legend, and mystery, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you're not just supporting us, you're joining us on this quest to uncover forgotten histories and share them with the world. The story of Dhul Qarnayn. Dhul Qarnayn wore a crown shaped like a bull's head, which made it appear as though he had two horns. In ancient cultures across various nations and tribes, many powerful rulers were imagined or depicted with two horns. Statues made in their likeness often included these horns, symbolizing immense power. Even idols, totems, and deities crafted by those people were sometimes shown with horns as a sign of their divine or overwhelming strength. According to religious narrations, Dhul Qarnayn was a righteous servant of God and a divine authority in his own time. It is said that God spoke to him. He once lived on earth, was killed, and then resurrected by Allah to live once more. This is why he was called Dhul Qarnayn, meaning the possessor of two lifetimes or two epochs. Because of his immense bravery, his strength was likened to the force of rams or bulls. In a dream, he saw himself approaching the sun and holding both its sides. When he shared this dream with others, they began to call him Dhul Qarnayn, the one with two horns or two ends. He lived in very ancient times. He was a just and virtuous man, worshipping the one Allah and always expressing gratitude for divine blessings. Allah, in return, granted him great power and prosperity. He became known to the people as Dhul Qarnayn. He united several smaller nations to create a great empire. With his armies, he journeyed westward to the farthest corners of the earth. When the people of foreign lands saw his splendor, wisdom, and leadership, they were enchanted. Many of them begged him to become their ruler. Dhul Qarnayn continued his journey until he reached a place with a large pool of water, into which a spring flowed. The water of the spring was muddy, and during sunset, it seemed as if the sun was descending directly into it. He speculated that no city or settlement existed beyond that pool. Near it lived a strange group of people, wild, uncivilized, godless, and violent. They oppressed one another and frequently killed each other. God revealed to Dhul Qarnayn that he had a choice. He could either go to war with them or try to guide them. Dhul Qarnayn chose the second path, the path of peace and reform. He stayed with them for some time, stopped the oppression, and gradually helped them adapt to justice and righteous living. Later he gathered his vast army again and set off, this time toward the east. On this journey as well, many lands and nations surrendered to him. Eventually he reached a desolate land, void of any civilization. The people there were again wild and lawless. Dhul Qarnayn invited them to worship the one God. He stayed with them for a while, teaching them how to live a just and meaningful life. Then it was time for the northward expedition. He journeyed far into the northern lands until he reached a region between two high mountains. The people living there spoke a unique language. When they saw the grandeur of Dhul Qarnayn and his forces, they were astounded. They approached him and said, "O great king, beyond these mountains live two savage tribes named Yajuj and Majuj. Every few months they cross the mountain pass and attack our land. They destroy our crops, tear down our homes, plunder everything we own, and leave us devastated." They pleaded, "Please build a great barrier between us and them, so they can no longer reach us. We will assist you and offer gifts in return." Dhul Qarnayn accepted their request, but replied, "The wealth my lord has granted me is better than what you offer, but help me with manpower, and I will build a strong, lasting wall between you and them." The people rejoiced and eagerly came to his aid. He ordered large amounts of iron and copper to be collected. They poured pieces of iron into the gap between the mountains, then built massive furnaces on the other side to melt the copper. He told the people to pile coal over the iron. Once everything was ready, the fires were lit. The heat softened the iron, and the molten copper was poured into the gaps. Little by little, a mighty wall was constructed, smooth and impossible to climb. It was impenetrable, strong, and sealed completely. From that day on, the people of that region enjoyed peace. They thanked Dhul Qarnayn, and then Dhul Qarnayn replied, "This is a mercy from my lord. But when the promise of my lord comes, this wall will be destroyed." Yajuj and Majuj, it is said, were strange and wild. Though similar in form to humans, they were short, no taller than 5 hand lengths, and all looked alike. They ate, drank, and reproduced like animals. They were naked and barefoot, and they wore no woven clothes or shoes. Instead, their bodies were covered with thick hair, similar to camel fur, which protected them from heat and cold. Each had 2 large ears. One ear they used as a bed, the other as a blanket. Instead of fingernails, they had claws. Their teeth were sharp, like the fangs of beasts. Their diet consisted mostly of whales, which clouds and winds brought to their lands each year. These whales were vital to their survival. They waited for them as people wait for rain. When the whales came, they would eat well, reproduce, and thrive for an entire year. When the whales did not arrive, famine and hardship struck. They would then descend upon nearby cities, devour everything in their path, and leave nothing but destruction. No one could stop them. Their destruction was worse than that caused by locusts, hailstorms, or any natural calamity. People fled in terror wherever Yajuj and Majuj passed through. There were 3 tribes of them. One was tall like towering trees. Another had square bodies, 4 arms wide and 4 arms tall. The third and most fearsome kind had 2 ears each, one feathered, used in summer, and the other furry, used in winter. Their bodies were covered with coarse hair and were incredibly tough. After completing the wall, Dhul Qarnayn continued his journey. One day, he encountered an old man praying. The man didn't even glance at Dhul Qarnayn or his army. Offended, Dhul Qarnayn asked, "Are you not frightened by my might and the size of my army?" The old man replied, "I am in the presence of one whose armies are far greater than yours, and if I turn my attention to you, I will lose my connection with him." Impressed, Dhul Qarnayn invited the man to accompany him as a guide and advisor. The man agreed, but on 4 conditions. First, he wanted a blessing that would never fade. 2, perfect health, without pain or weakness. 4, an elixir of youth that would prevent aging forever. 5, eternal life without death. Dhul Qarnayn was surprised what the old man requested, stunned, and admitted, "No human can grant such things." The man smiled and said, "Then I will accompany only the one to whom these traits truly belong." The old man was Prophet Khidr, alayhi السلام, who from that moment on became Dhul Qarnayn's companion. Together, they traveled across land and sea, witnessing wonders, strange creatures, and diverse people. Whenever they encountered the weak or oppressed, they helped them. Dhul Qarnayn often said, "O God, how many lost and miserable people are there in this world? If only I could live forever to see them live in peace." As the years passed, and Dhul Qarnayn aged, thoughts of death weighed on his mind. One day he gathered the wisest scholars and asked, "Is there any cure for death? Is there any way to live forever?" The scholars replied, "We have read in the book of Adam that somewhere on earth lies the spring of life. Whoever drinks from it will live forever. But this spring is hidden from mankind. No one knows its location." Dhul Qarnayn said, "Of course it would be hidden. Everything God does is with wisdom. If such a spring were easily found, even the wicked could drink and live forever, spreading evil. But if we who want to do good find it, it would be a great blessing." Khidr replied, "The great law of God is, those who truly seek will find. Desire alone is not enough. One must seek with faith and certainty." Dhul Qarnayn then asked, "Where should we search for this spring of life?" Khidr answered, "I believe it lies in the land of Dhulmat, or darkness." So Dhul Qarnayn gathered wise men, skilled artisans, righteous people, and hard-working laborers, and set out into the land of darkness. They marked their paths, lit fires at resting places, and explored deep valleys and high mountains. It was a long, exhausting journey. At one point, they got lost and wandered in complete darkness for 40 days and nights. Eventually, a mysterious light, neither sun nor moon, guided them out. They arrived at a land of red sand, where the pebbles were like pearls. Soon after, they came upon a massive palace, the size of an entire town. Dhul Qarnayn entered alone and saw a huge bird with wings stretched across the palace and a giant iron hook suspended between sky and earth. When the bird sensed his presence, it asked, "Who is this?" He replied, "I am Dhul Qarnayn." The bird said, "Wasn't everything you witnessed enough? Why have you come here?" Frightened, Dhul Qarnayn answered the bird's questions. It asked he, A people building many houses of stone and brick. Yes, Dhul Qarnayn replied. Then, 1/3 of the bird turned into iron. The bird asked, "Has music become widespread?" Dhul Qarnayn answered, "Yes." Then another third turned to iron. Bird asked, "Do people give false testimony?" Dhul Qarnayn answered, "Yes." Then the bird became completely iron, and fear overtook Dhul Qarnayn. He fled the palace and rejoined Khidr, and explained his terrifying experience to Khidr, alayhi salam. Khidr alayhi salam told him, "Do you know who that bird was? It is Israfil, the angel who waits for the sign of the end times to blow the trumpet." Eventually, it was God's will that only Khidr alayhi salam would reach the spring of life. During an exploratory mission, he found it, drank from it, and was granted eternal life. When he shared the news, others searched too, but the spring vanished. Those with weak faith doubted him, but the wise said it was hidden again, and immortality was meant only for Khidr alayhi salam. As the food stores of the journey ran out, Dhul Qarnayn ordered a return. He said, "We came to find eternal life, not to starve in the darkness. We'll return with better supplies." As they departed, they found glowing stones in dark place. The horses feared them. Khidr al-Salam said, "These are the stones of regret. Whoever takes them will regret it, and whoever leaves them will also regret it." Some ignored them, others picked them up, thinking better to regret having than not having. When they returned to the light, the stones were revealed to be precious gems. People asked, "Why call them stones of regret?" Khidr alayhi salam replied, "They're beautiful, but they do no real good. They can't be eaten, worn, or heal any pain. Those who lack them regret not having them. Those who possess them regret not having more." Eventually, they left the land of darkness. Dhul Qarnayn returned to his rule, but his time came and he died. Immortality was not his destiny. That gift belonged to Khidr alayhi salam, the eternal guide, who even today is believed to come to the aid of those lost in the path, sincerely calling upon Allah. If you were captivated by this tale, there's more waiting to be uncovered. Subscribe to our channel and become part of this growing quest to rediscover forgotten legends and timeless truths. Your support helps us bring more stories like this to light, so hit the bell icon and walk with us into the shadows of time.